Jessa Duggar was getting ready for church on a quiet Sunday morning when everything changed in an instant. Her water broke right there in the kitchen, 10 days before her due date, and within hours she would be giving birth on her own living room couch. What followed was a whirlwind of emotion: a missing midwife, a risky home delivery, and a sudden trip to the hospital that had fans holding their breath. Years after it happened, a new video has resurfaced online, giving fans an up-close look at exactly how this dramatic birth story unfolded. If you've ever wondered what really went down the day Ivy Jane Seawald came into the world, stick around, because this story has twists you probably didn't know about. The Duggar family has been a fixture of reality television for nearly 2 decades, first captured public attention with 19 Kids and Counting before transitioning to the spin-off Counting On, which followed the older Duggar children as they got married and started families of their own. Jessa Duggar, one of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's 19 children, married Ben Seawald in 2014, and the couple quickly became fan favorites as they built their own family. By 2019, Jessa and Ben were already parents to 2 young sons, Spurgeon and Henry, and fans were eagerly following along as Jessa prepared to welcome her 3rd child. Given the size of the Duggar family and their strong faith-based values, pregnancy and childbirth have always been major storylines on the show, often filled with unexpected turns. Jessa's 3rd pregnancy was no different. Her due date was still more than a week away, and she and Ben had a clear plan in place: a hospital birth in a birthing suite with a trusted midwife by her side. But as fans of the Duggar family know all too well, plans rarely go exactly as expected. What happened next would turn into one of the most talked about birth stories in the family's history, and TLC eventually released footage that let viewers see the entire dramatic morning unfold in real time. That's where our story really begins. It all started on a Sunday morning in May of 2019. Jessa was in the kitchen getting ready for church when her water broke unexpectedly, catching her completely off guard. She later explained that she wasn't anticipating going into labor early at all, since her previous 2 pregnancies had both gone past their due dates. In her mind, they still had roughly 2 weeks left before the baby would arrive. Instead, she and Ben suddenly found themselves saying, "Well, I guess we have a change of plans." The timing couldn't have been worse in one specific way. The midwife Jessa had planned to have by her side at the hospital had left town for the week, completely unavailable. With her original birth plan no longer possible, Jessa and Ben had to pivot quickly. Their backup plan was to call in a different midwife and deliver the baby at home instead. That decision set the stage for what would become an intense and emotional day. As contractions began, Jessa tried several methods to keep things moving, including walking up and down the stairs, something that had helped speed up labor with her previous 2 children. She also drank a castor oil and strawberry smoothie, a home remedy some believe can help encourage labor, though it's not something medical experts generally recommend without professional guidance. As her contractions grew stronger, the backup midwife arrived at the house and began preparing for delivery. The family set up the living room couch, covering it with protective pads, and that's where Jessa would ultimately give birth. After hours of labor throughout the day, Ivy Jane Seawald was born right there on the couch at 5:57 in the evening, with Ben by her side the entire time. For a moment, everything seemed to go according to the backup plan. The baby had arrived safely, and the family experienced what should have been a purely joyful moment. But the emotional high didn't last long. Shortly after Ivy's birth, Jessa's bleeding wouldn't stop. Concerned for her safety, the family made the decision to call for help. Ben later described the moment, saying they wanted to be cautious and make sure everything was truly okay. An ambulance was called, and paramedics arrived at the home, confirming that baby Ivy appeared to be healthy and doing well. Jessa, however, needed further medical attention, so she was taken to the hospital to address the ongoing bleeding. Thankfully, once she arrived, doctors were able to treat her with medication, and she did not require a blood transfusion. As news of the sudden hospital trip spread through the family, other Duggar relatives began making their way to be there for the new arrival. Notably, family matriarch Michelle Duggar flew in on a private plane just to meet her newest grandchild. Once Jessa was settled and stable at the hospital, she and Ben introduced Ivy Jane to her big brothers, Spurgeon and Henry, along with other family members who had gathered to celebrate. Ben also shared a touching detail about how they chose their daughter's name, revealing that Ivy Jane was inspired by Lady Jane Grey, a historical figure who briefly served as Queen of England in the 1500s. Little Ivy weighed 7 pounds and 14 ounces and measured 20.5 inches long, notably smaller than her two older brothers had been at birth. The entire dramatic sequence of events, from the surprise early labor to the couch delivery to the emergency hospital visit, was captured on camera and later released by TLC to promote an upcoming episode of Counting On, giving fans a front-row seat to one of the family's most intense birth stories yet. When the footage was released, fans had a lot to say. Many viewers praised Jessa and Ben for staying calm under such stressful circumstances, especially with the sudden change in plans and the scare with the bleeding afterward. Some commenters expressed relief that both mother and baby ended up safe and healthy, calling the video an emotional watch. Others used the moment to discuss home births in general, with opinions split between those who supported the family's choice to have a backup midwife and those who felt more comfortable with hospital deliveries from the start. Several fans also pointed out how quickly the situation could have become more serious, expressing appreciation that Jessa and Ben acted fast by calling for medical help right away. Entertainment outlets covering the story largely focused on the emotional rollercoaster of the day, highlighting the shift from a peaceful home birth to an unexpected ambulance ride. Overall, the public reaction leaned supportive and sympathetic, with many viewers simply happy that everyone involved came out safe on the other side. Since then, Jessa and Ben have gone on to welcome more children, continuing to share pieces of their growing family's journey online. Fans interested in following along can expect more updates through Jessa's own social media and YouTube content, where she has continued documenting major family milestones. As with any update involving the Duggar family, new details and family announcements tend to surface regularly, so this is a story worth keeping an eye on. At the end of the day, Ivy Jane's birth turned out to be one of the more dramatic chapters in the Duggar family's journey, a story that started with a broken birth plan and ended with a healthy baby girl and a family pulling together during a stressful moment. It's a reminder that even the most carefully laid plans can take an unexpected turn, and how a family handles those surprises often says a lot about them. What are your thoughts on this latest Duggar family update? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Duggar family update.